we do a free consultation. They sign up through our system. They fill out a very short intake that helps me understand, like, what are they looking for? I have a lot of information. I've been doing this for a long time. I don't want to overwhelm them. So I try to like prepare by sharing is it 504 versus IEP? Is it they're looking for, an evaluation? I share some data with them, and then we meet by the phone, and then I give everyone a game plan. If they end up using our services, great. If not, that's fine too. I just tell them the next steps, because that's how I've parented, is by just what's the next best step I can do to move towards answers or towards a plan. And then I give them proposals if they do want to work with us. And if they choose to work with us, if they already have a plan, it's almost called it's called a record review. It's a review of all their records so we can advise on the plan. I think what sets us aside from other advocacy groups is we give the parents the record review. During the pandemic, we found that we had more work than advocates. And we sat down, we're like, what could we do? And a few of us wrote out this kind of parent-friendly layman term guide to their rights. And so they only need it once. And it's a audit of their IEP, gives them next steps, gives them all their rights. It's about 10 pages. And then it gives them action, like change this accommodation to this verbiage, change this goal. Here's what you should be looking for on your 3-year mark. You should get evaluations. You shouldn't. Excuse me. And so that's kind of a one-time service. It's usually when parents start working with us, 50% of the time they take it. They're like, great, thank you. This is all we need. We got it from here. We're empowering them to advocate for their kids. Or 50% of the time they say, this is great, good game plan. Come with us. We want you there too. Because it can feel intimidating for parents if there's 10 other people and I had a client once, she was so cool. She was like an engineer or something. And she said, how could you imagine going into like an engineering meeting and people using acronyms and just like feeling a fish out of water? Or I've had other clients who are medical professionals walk out and be like, what the heck just happened? And so we like to help by explaining it or, answering the questions on the fly in the meetings, because it's our daily grind. It's not what parents do all day, every day.
Yeah. No, and I can speak from experience. I've sat through so many IEP meetings for my daughter, and I love the fact that all the teachers are there. I mean, it's usually about 10 people in the room. Yeah. You've got the guidance counselor, you've sometimes the admin for the department. You have in high school, it's every single teacher that educates your student, plus, someone from special education department, and, everyone's kind of sharing a lot of information. And as the one person sitting in that room, it's just a lot of info to take in. And even if you've been through it multiple times, like not even knowing what questions to ask or, how to, really, really get what you need, because I have learned as the parent, like you are their best advocate.
Yep.
And sometimes you really do have to follow up and follow through and push for what your child needs. And having someone there like you guys at that meeting would be huge. I could definitely attest to how helpful that would be. And just knowing you've got someone else kind of sitting there, looking out specifically and helping to even carve out just, what accommodations to ask for. I feel like that process like evolves over time. What you need now may not be what you need later, and kind of making sure, is this effective? Is this helpful?
Yeah, and we like to think of ourselves as like converting the medical need to the educational, and then almost like a mediator between what the parent wants and converting it to educational, because it's difficult for a parent who doesn't do this all day, every day, like you said, to go in and they have someone taking notes. They have someone, playing all these different roles. So there's so many experts from the school team, but the parent knows a child best. So I always tell our families, you tell me what the need is, I'll convert it to the special education speak. You don't have to learn how to do that. You don't have to learn all the acronyms and stuff. It's great if they want to. We've had a lot of parents who've become such strong advocates they don't need our services, and that's a win. I'm happy to just get grad announcements.
And so to recap, like you can review that IEP and either, equip the parent to be able to go into the meeting themselves, or you can, help to cultivate, recommendations for accommodations, or you can attend that meeting with the family to provide that additional support, which is awesome.
Exactly. And I really hear you're coming in, like you're playing a translator role, right? You're representing the family. You're definitely not coming in as an adversary. And that's something when I first learned about your services, I thought, oh gosh, the schools are probably really intimidated when Shannon and Shine Advocacy shows up in their building. They're like, oh gosh, she's gonna threaten what we're doing here and challenge it. But I really don't hear that from you at all.
We try to be very collaborative. Like my whole team has worked in or still works in education, so they get it. we look at it like we're all looking out for the kid. We try to be very complimentary. All of us have been educators or families educators. We know the position is hard, and we are very specialized. We specialize in learning disabilities, all the invisible disabilities, learning disabilities, autism, ADHD. So we like to share executive function tips or behavioral tips because that's what we do all day, every day when education has not been in special ed unless they're a special education teacher.
Right.
And then we can share like what we've seen with this population that we are experts at. And then also we just like to offer ideas. We're very collaborative. We don't want to be a bulldog advocacy group during the consults if the parent is very upset or angry and they want something that we don't think would be that a best fit for our group. We will refer them to either special education attorney or there are advocates that are a little more bulldog in their approach, which is just not our approach. We're informed. We know how to navigate the system, but it's more about strategy and offering ideas and sharing, like, for example, this is what the Department of Education says in our state or nationally. How are we going to implement this? It's not a question of do we have to. They do have to. It's how.
And I love the partnership piece. I feel like as a tutoring business as well, we take the same approach with our schools. I think sometimes it can also be seen as like, well, this is a negative reflection that a student is needing support outside the classroom. In reality, our teachers have really, really tough jobs, and our goal is to truly be there to support that teacher with their goals. I love when the teachers reach out to us and they share feedback on, how we can support the goals that they're looking to achieve in the classroom. And we have that like four-way, communication between parent, student, tutor, and teacher. And so I love that you guys also look at it that way as well, because I know sometimes it can be seen in a negative light, but we're really all here to really get great results for our students.
Yeah, and I see there's such a relief when it's shared commonly that the student has a tutor outside. The school team sees it as, okay, these parents are doing everything they can. Like it's a whole child approach. They're really all working together. And I love when schools will communicate with coaches. We do executive function coaching or tutors because that's just only benefits the child.